Boom, baby. What's going on? What's going on, my people? Panther in the house. I'm reading your comment. Blessed for success. I'll do my best tonight to go over my general day trading plan, okay? Ambrose, what's up, my dog? Hammer in the house. Sol Almonte in the house. Yo. Oz, Yannick. Looky here. Saurlito. D. Daniel in here. Panther. Kelly. Miss Naya. How are you? Hey, girl. Sal Halvin. Mikey Mullins in the house. I've not got to watch Larry's video yet, Richard. I bet it was a good one. Sailfish, what's up, my friend? Yvette. That's right, Hammer. There's Miss Autumn in the house. How are you, young lady? Dennis Ramadan. Marie. I'm doing very well, Naya. All right, girl, going on a cruise. Sounds good. Sounds good. I hope you have safe travels and a fun time, my friend. I hope you have a great time. Enjoy yourself. Marcelo. That reminds me. What was that guy's name? All right. Apple, ICCM. Boom, baby. Yeah, let's get some booms this week. I had a rough Monday or Tuesday. Can't remember. Ari Phillips. Yeah, if you tap the description in this video you're in, my email is right there. I think it's the last thing on there. Yancey. I'll tell you, man, I bought Google. I bought Google right there Friday. Let's see here. Get my screen up. It's on the primary. There we go. I bought Google right there on Friday. That was the Fed announcement. Katindari, if I'm saying that right. Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to go over Oh, Kentish is in Cancun. Very nice. Yeah, Richard, I think a few people were caught that way, caught off guard. It was easy to be caught off guard because the Fed will usually have an adverse effect, I think, is what people were expecting. Golly, somebody on their motorcycle out here. There you go. Hang on. I'm sorry, guys. I had one guy for a makeup. I just remembered his name there. So, yeah, Friday was a hard read. I'm just going to I'm going to start here with Google and get rid of all my drawings. And this is so let's chart Google for there was a couple people asking the general day trading, my general way of getting levels here on the day trading. Okay, Steve, SPY is my first thing I'm looking at, and I always have, and I've always have before, but I've only recently, over probably the last 2 months, started displaying live other stocks. Normally the Mag 8 is pretty much where we stay in, and I would say within that normally Google, AMD, Nvidia, and SPY and Amazon. About those 5 are usually where my play is. Sometimes I'll grab Tesla. Now, I've traded these on my own for a long time, but as far as displaying them with the family over the last couple of months, I've started, because sometimes the SPY isn't giving us breakouts. I find it better to be able to pivot to one of those 5 or 6 stocks. That way we're not spread out all over the place looking for a ticker like penny stock people, looking for searching scanners and screeners and all this stuff. You know, I've got it dialed down to those top 6 or so stocks, and that's usually where I stay. Michelle, I've been swinging serve. Yeah, not day trading it. Yeah, I'll swing some stuff sometimes. Normally just shares. I had shares of serve. If it holds my level, I'm going back in tomorrow. But I respected my stop loss on it, and I exited where I told everybody I would exit if it didn't hold, and it didn't hold. So now it has to hold back above my level. We'll look at it here in a minute. Monsimian, out of those 5 or 6, and I'll throw Apple in there. I forgot about Apple. I will lean towards Google and AMD, but it doesn't matter. It's which one's moving, and that's why we run the where's my this is why we run the 8 panels. So on TradingView, oh well, thanks for the thumbs down. Already, huh? Appreciate that. Should there not be a pullback after that run up? Rosie will check everything here in just a second. So let's see here: Nvidia, Google, Tesla, AMD, Apple. Which ones am I missing here? Amazon. And SPY. I'm missing SPY off here. Now, some people will run the Qs on one of these. Some people will run maybe something else they're keeping a track on. Meta, sometimes Netflix, Microsoft, you could. So we can throw Meta in there. I don't trade Meta a whole lot, but a lot of people do. So I think Hammer does on there, the Hammer. So if you see, I'll dumb it down to these with my very simple lines, and I can normally see what's breaking out, what's not breaking out. If you'll notice the difference here from all of these stocks on Friday, Google had a rough time getting going, but Google was a monster if you stayed with it through the day. Everything else was pretty much a rocket and followed the same pattern on Friday. Tesla may have been the best. AMD. Amazon also gave a pullback at the open up here in the top right. Amazon. You got a pullback on Amazon, then the rocket. Then Google, same thing, except Google got back to its opening range high and stalled out on us. And that's where Josh was trying to trade Google that morning. It made sense because it had been strong the day before and the night of, and pre-market it had been strong. It just it had to cool off right here in this area before it took off. It got the big pump. I bought it on pre-market low down there, and that's going to bring me back to my my normal setup here. If I can get back to my screen, here we go. This is where we started. Okay. Yeah, I feel you, Hammer. Yeah, Country Panther, that 8-panel setup is absolute, like, it's fire. Is a 2K account enough to make $100 a day? Max, is it enough? Yeah, it's enough, but a $2,000 account, honestly, day trading options, I would even dare say your first goal would be somewhere between $40 and $100 per day. That would be your first goal, and that's realistic. So if you're taking a $2,000 account with, let's say, 3 trades, you get 3 trades, okay? Each trade is worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $600. So you could get 3 $200 contracts, and if you're looking for on a $200 contract, a 10% move would render $20 per contract. So $20, $40, $60 on 3 contracts on a 10% move. There's your day, $60, and unless you get that's your profit for the day. Walk away. You have to have a realistic goal with a small account, or you will blow it lickety split, real lickety split. Now, I'm gonna analyze Google here. We're gonna start the day off on Google. I won't get hung up because a couple people wanted to see the normal day trading setup. This is Trading View. I'm going to show my friend Monsieur there wanted to see Weeble. So I can also let's do this on Weeble for a second. This is where I buy and sell at. Okay. This widget here that you're looking at is called Turbo Options. Okay. This is for day trading, scalping option contracts. This is the fastest platform I have found, and I will not go to anything else unless somebody can say, hey Mike, check this out, this thing's even better. This is absolutely the fastest thing you can find. The ease of it, and I've dumbed this whole setup down to 4 windows. One window is your watch list. One window is the chart. The chart has the candle chart, the RSI, the MACD. The third window is turbo options. The fourth window are your quotes. Okay. This just tells you the price of the underlying asset. Now, Monsieur, to tell you how quick this is, let's say I wanted to buy this contract down here that day when it back tested this pre-market, whatever that was, that opening candle. Was that pre-market? Yeah, I guess that's pre-market high right there. Right there. So we came back down. We were fighting with VWAP and pre-market high right here. And let's say I wanted to go into calls right there. The price was 203.60. Okay. At that point, I probably would have chose a 205 call. That would be the first one out of the money. At that point, my friend, all I had to do was click this call, and however many I wanted to buy right here, I've got it set up fast. If I want to buy 10, 25, whatever I want to buy, I'm just clicking that number, hitting the buy button, and I'm in. Then if I want to go out, I can shave out one at a time. Sell, sell, sell. I'm out. There is nothing, guys, there's nothing any faster than this. If you're struggling getting in your trade and getting out of your trade on a half a candle or just one, crossing the line, we talk about the cross of price. Once it crosses and closes over, then you get in. Or when it's crossing, if you want to be able to get in when this thing goes across this line, then this is the setup. All my charts are on Trading View. I've just got this chart so I can watch it. The other cool thing with Weeble is, Weeble should be paying me, right? I can also, I normally will have this setup going. So let's throw NVIDIA, Amazon, AMD. Let's go back here once. 1 second. You gotta sync these up first before you do that. Okay. Now, NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon. Okay. Right. So let's say I'm watching Google, I'm watching NVIDIA, I'm watching this one, I'm watching that one, whichever one I click on. If this one starts going, I click on Google. I have Google contracts ready to go. Buy. I'm in. If I want to pivot over here to Amazon, here we go. I'm just looking at the price that's up here. I'm choosing the contract that's close to that price. Buy. I'm in. It is that fast, y'all. It is that fast. It is basically free. It's $3 a month for this widget. $3 a month. I promise you it's worth it. Josh, Thinkorswim, active trader. It might be fast. I don't like Thinkorswim. I don't like the platform itself, but I think Thinkorswim, you really have to spend some time on it. You have to spend time with Weeble too, but this is the setup that I give everybody, okay? So Monsieur, I hope that helps you. Or Monsimian, if I'm saying it right. This is my setup. And if you want to change one of these tickers, you know, all I got to do is click on my watch list. Boom, there. NVIDIA, Meta, or this one or that one. It's very, very fast. Whatever you want to see and buy, it's all right here. Click your contract, 230 call, 5 calls, whatever I want. Hit the buy button, you're in. Okay. Now, did I read that Weeble charges to withdraw? I don't think. Do you use the Weeble app too? Is it as easy? Michelle, the phone app, I use it occasionally if I step away. I will say it's pretty intuitive. It's pretty nice. It is nowhere near as fast. I don't think, because you can't. The problem with any phone app is you can't watch a chart while you're making your buys and sells. You must be able to have a chart up with your support and resistance lines, and you've got to be able to make those decisions. You got to be able to make those decisions on the fly, on the quick fly. Now, let's go to, the phone app also has turbo on it. A lot of people don't know that, or it's hidden. They don't realize that. I can buy and sell on the phone on the turbo app like that, but I still need a chart. Even if I have my iPad, I can have my iPad with Trading View and click buy and sell on my phone. You gotta have a chart up with your levels. Blessed for Success, it's called Weeble. That's what I just went over. This is Weeble. This is the brokerage. Yep. And you can make this a cash account, an IRA, a Roth IRA, a margin account. If you're on margin, you better have over 25K if you want to day trade. Kelsey, I will let's say I wanted to buy let's say I wanted to buy Amazon right now. In the overnight session, the price is right here, 228.08. I would either buy at the money or one strikeout. If it's 228, I would choose this 227.50 call because it's basically right at if you have trouble deciphering which one to buy when you're day trading these contracts, just choose whatever's closest to the value of the stock right here. If it's 228, get you a 227, or these stocks, some of them go in $2.50 increments on their strikes. So just choose whatever's right at the money or just out of the money. It's fine. No problem. The further into the day, I will choose at the money. With Amazon, it's going to be a Friday contract, a weekly contract. So just whatever's at the money, whatever's giving you that value. Yep. Blessed for Success. Weeble, it to me, it's great for scalping. For quick ins and quick outs, this turbo options is the route to go. All right, let's set up Google, and this is how I start my day on Friday. Okay, I want to know. I've got 3 lines on my chart. I don't have to have any of these lines, but I use VWAP, the 9 EMA, and the 200 EMA. Okay. That's normally what I use. The next thing I want to know is I make a line up here. Excuse me. All my lines are saved on a quick toolbar up here, right? So I'm going to make a line at the lowest point in the pre-market session. Okay, that's this brown background here, and the lowest point is this, the bottom of that candle right there. It's very easy to see. So I drag this line back there and go under it right there. Okay, that is pre-market low. The next set of structure I want is the high of pre-market. Today, on this day, it was this last candle in pre-market. So I put a line right there. A lot of times I will stretch it on back to the beginning, and that's at the top of the wick of that candle. Okay, that's the first set of structure. The second set of structure is called opening range breakout, opening range structure. That is the first 3 5-minute candles of the session. I'm going to make another line at the high point of those 3. 1. I'm just going to point these out to you. 1 candle, 2nd candle, 3rd candle right there. Okay, so the high and the low of those are right here is the low, that purple line. It's actually on this 1 candle. It created the high and the low. Now, what I want is for a candle to cross this first line. I've made these 2 different colors, guys. Pre-market is yellow, opening range is purple. You have a few choices here. Okay, the first thing I'm looking for is a break of one of these structures. The purple lines you don't know until 15 minutes have completed. Okay, on Google, it struggled at the beginning because it could not cross this line and close a candle over it. Now, the next set of things I want to know are the previous day high and the previous day low. I've got to know that. If I go back here, I'll say, okay, this is the previous day high, and I'm going to make it white. Now, you could put it on the bodies. That makes sense to me. You could put it on this wick. That also makes a little sense to me. It's up to you. I'm putting it there on the bodies of these. And then the next thing is the low of the previous day. And really it was here on this opening candle. Alright. Now, I've got 6 lines on my chart. Next thing I want to know is RSI and MACD. Okay. RSI is giving us strength. MACD is helping point direction for us, right? Everybody good with this? What's up, Project Hollywood? I just want to I know some of us know this stuff already, but we'll do a few other things here in a second. This is the setup. This is the basic day trading setup that we're using. Now, you'll see Google could not break either one of those structures, right? For the first 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes into the session. Do we see what happens? RSI gives me a peek at what's going on, guys. Like I'm really heavy on RSI. And in this first hour and a half, I watch it like a hawk because and this is why I have RSI. My settings are at 60 and 40, not at 70 and 30, okay? 60 is this upper line, 40 is this lower line. To break resistance, any kind of resistance, we've got to push above 60 and start climbing, okay? To break support underneath you, you have to push under 40 and start dropping. The only time this starts to break under some support is we see we're breaking under morning market low, opening range low, that purple line. See that? This candle here. Right there. The next thing is this candle. If we take a put on this red candle, we're taking it at 202.11. This candle has to close underneath this purple line for me to hold the trade. So if we take a 20 whatever put here, a 202 put or whatever's close to it, we get the close and we get another continuation candle down to 201.40. So this was a decent move for a scalp. Now here's the thing that I noticed. The next set of structure is pre-market low, right? If we come down here, this move was basically a fake out, okay? If you scalped this to the bottom, you did okay, but I was more interested in buying a bounce down here because this will often bounce off of the low of your pre-market level. If it stays in a pattern here for a long time, it's basically consolidating in order to make a move one way or the other. The move on this one just so happened, this RSI, do you see when it tried to climb up here above the signal line? That would have been on this green candle. It didn't make a pass through it. It did not complete through 60. It got rejected off of it, just like rejecting off of resistance. This candle rejected off of resistance on the RSI on 60. So the next thing we were looking for was for it to break out of this or under this, and RSI started pointing which way it was going. Once it lost 50 here, it completed the move down to 40. Now, the reason we got this one extra candle was because it dipped under 40 for a brief second and then immediately rose back up through it, right? When this happens, when this reverse happens, all I'm looking to do is buy off of support. This is my support, this general region, 201.30, 201.10. So there's about 20 cents difference here. I bought that dip, the dip right here. I bought that dip. And I bought it because we were still above pre-market low. And I bought it because of the way the day before looked. It was a good up day, and then it consolidated, right? And it never came back down and lost its lows that day. So this was another up move. All it did was come back here and test some support. If you go back to support on the day before, and we look at the first three candles, looks like the body of them is right there. Wow, looky there. Look where my yellow line and this white line is. So if you marked your morning market the day before, it was really close opening range, same level. It just back tested. It just back tested support. So I did buy that candle, and I think I sold for 40%. Now, where do you sell at when you buy this candle? Who's got that? What's up, Shelly? Yep, Saul, this is when Powell spoke. What's up, Ricky? So this is when Powell spoke. Let's look at where was that 8 bar set up? Here we go. Google struggled to get over its morning, your opening range breakout. All through here was consolidation, right? You see how the RSI was unable to go above 60 and then keep going? Google was the only lagger, which is why I kept my eye on it that day, but it was one of the only laggers in that big old blow up. It got its move off of its lows. This was a great buy down here for one reason only. This is support until it's broke. So as we come down to it and we've had a little sell off, I'm at least looking for a bounce here, especially when MACD just hits this dip and reverses. RSI reversed. This is telling me this isn't going to continue down. The first level it breaks back to the upside. It broke right back above previous day highs. Morning market low, pre-market high, and then I sold into, I think I sold into pre-market high, maybe morning market high, I can't remember. But as you're approaching these levels, if you're in these trades, you should, if you have 3 contracts down here, by the time you're approaching this upper level, you should be only holding 1 contract. You should be selling halfway and then 3/4 of the way and then exiting up here. If you want to hold a runner, you can hold a runner. If you got 5 contracts, this is a point where you've only got 1 or 2 left when you get up here. And I don't want to hold all through this mess throughout the day, right? I don't want to hold this. If we go, this is a day where if we put on VWAP, I bet, yeah, we back tested VWAP down here. So this just lingered back all day long till 1 o'clock and tapped VWAP and then took off, right? So there was another trade right here on this candle. This was a hard place to try to trade Google. Josh was trying to trade this, and it just never could get above the opening range high. It just never could get above it. But when you got above it and this candle closed, that is the confirmation. That is the confirmation. It still struggled here, but it did lead up to another move. That was a rough one that day. It was a rough one to trade. Yeah, I think. What's up, Deshaun? That's right, Yancey. Let's look at Tesla that morning. Or what do y'all want to look at? Who's got one? Zoom? I don't chart Zoom ever. Yeah, let's do AMD. Like that. You've got, yeah, we can look at Bull AM. Let's do AMD for a second. Michelle's got Palantir, and I'm wondering if I wanted to buy the shares at my strike price at expiration. How do I do that? Zen Trader, don't ever shut up, brother. I always appreciate your input, man. I think Josh said they dropped the minutes before the speech or something like that, but I could tell. You could see it on that candle. You could see it on everything. The 200 EMA is my red line. Okay, let's do AMD for a second. So here's another thing I want everybody to look at. The reason for it could be 100 things, but nevertheless, let's start our day out on AMD. When you have a really narrow price action in pre-market, like this day, you see this brown area? This is considered a very tight, and I always make my pre-market yellow. If we mark, you can mark the wick, you can mark the body. It's what you want to do. If you mark this wick, it makes you be more conservative in weight. If you mark the body, it makes you be more aggressive, and you could get faked out. So it's your choice. Here is pre-market for AMD on Friday. Okay, I'm going to do a rectangle for you. You can see this range. Look at the range. It's very tight. It's only 1 point. 160, 150, 160, 260. So 1 point. When it is a narrow range like that, the chances of breakout are much, much, much higher. Much higher. You're looking for a breakout at that point, like should be on your radar. When you've got a really wide pre-market, things could struggle, like the day before. Pre-market high up here, pre-market low all the way down here. It was only able to break out of it one time there, one time here. No big trend. It just fell through it one time and pretty much consolidated the rest of the day in this area, right? No trend. All the range was in pre-market. When we find there, not saying you can't find plays in that, you can, but it's likely that you're going to. Let's look at that day. Fairly narrow. Look, when we break to the downside, look how far. This is another thing I want you guys to check out. Okay, let's say pre-market comes up. We got 163.70, 166. Appreciate the keyboard warriors and their 2 thumbs downs. Oh, man. They never type anything. They just hit the thumbs down. So, look at this range here, how narrow it is. When we break the structure, look what we get. Now, there is definitely movement back to the upside on this particular day. Oftentimes, it gets to these lows, and then you just range the rest of the day. This one had a reversal. Reversal comes when RSI, you see this oversold condition. When you get really oversold like that, you're looking for a cross back above your signal line and sometimes the retest of it, like this. Then when you get back through 40, your next level's 50, then 60. That's how you play that move up. Once this crosses, you should be on lookout, high alert. Even if you took it on the first cross, you get this candle, you get knocked out at break even. You give it another try, because look what happened. RSI made a higher low, right? We were building. It back tested for the move back up. Now, and this was a monster move back up. I'll take that. 158.80, 163, 4.5, 5 points on the way. I'll take that any day of the week. But the breakout is easier once we break. Look at that structure. Once you broke pre-market low, she was gone. She was gone. Because also, you were still under the previous day lows. Look at that. Once you break it down and your candle confirms, that's what we're looking for. So, this particular day, you had morning market high. Oh man, I guess on the wicks it would be considered all the way up there. 1, 2, 3. On the body, or on the low side, was there. Makes sense to me. You get a trade. First position, this red candle crosses and closes under. Third candle crosses, closes under opening range low. Closes. Never breaks the 9 EMA, guys. All the way down. Not till here. Easy trade on the way down, because you're waiting to take the cross of price to the downside, and when the candle confirms, this is where you have to take risk at on days like this. This is a good trend. Once you start hitting oversold conditions, you should be scaling out of your position. No different than going on the upside with overbought conditions, right? Everybody good? Everybody hanging with me? I don't think I've seen the chop indicator. I'll check that out, Zen. Max, if you have very limited time to trade, would you recommend using the 3-minute or quicker for scalps? I don't like 1s and 3s unless I got my lines right. Some people like them, some people don't. 5-minute candle gives you much more confirmation. Okay, much more confirmation. Somebody said Palantir. Let's look at Palantir. Kelly, I use the stock RSI. I just changed my upper band and lower band to 60 and 40. You must cross 60 to break resistance, and you must cross 40 to break support. There's movement in between. Anytime I've got oversold and came back through 40, there's good movement back up to 60 on the RSI. Good movement there. Okay. Let's look at Palantir. Who was asking me about Palantir? Was it Michelle or somebody? Yeah, Michelle. I have a call on Palantir, and I'm wondering if I wanted to buy the shares at my strike. What's your strike price, Michelle? Palantir has basically came down so you can expiring March of 2026. Ricky, I'm going to look at SPY right here in just a second, and then we'll... I got a few more minutes, and we'll wrap up. Okay. I like this curl. If you notice Palantir on the pullback on the daily, look where we come back and tested, y'all. You see how a bullish continuation of a move when it pulls back on the RSI. You see the line that it comes back and likes to interact with? 40, you dip below, gained it right back. 40, 40, 40. Again, right here at 40, or at 41. Palantir looks like it's curling back up for another move back towards 60. 50's the first stop, 60's the second, and then as this signal line works its way down, we see if we can get back across that. In the meantime, MACD must come around and give that move and stay above the zero line. Okay? Now we'll go back on the 1 hour. Once my computer loads. So I can shut some stuff down. New Orleans, Apple. I'll check Apple out 1 second. Yep, I'll check Apple out. As it's making that move back up. I see these previous highs back here where it had problems a little bit. That's what you're dealing with right now. Need to get back above 161 and 163 on Palantir. I mean, I think it's still in a pretty good spot. And depending on your brokerage, Michelle, I don't do that very often. As a matter of fact, I can't remember the last time I did that where I bought the shares. So if you're going to buy them at 150, you sure don't want to lose 150, right? But you're buying shares of Palantir. I mean, very strong move. Again, I think right here, just like I said a second ago, like this 161 area, a little bit of trouble here at 165. Then you're back in this upper range. So there's your resistance lines, and you want to hold 153. This is if you're swinging these, you got them kind of mid to long term. You want to hold 153. Okay. Yeah, well, you're not going to want to hold till expiration, Michelle. You're going to want to hold probably half the time, maybe just a little past half before theta starts kicking in and hurting you on your contract. Oksana said the CEO sold a lot of Palantir last week. I mean, it happens sometimes, which I can't blame the guys when they've if they've been holding on to shares for since $10 and less, Yeah, so don't think about March. I don't know when you bought these, but if you're halfway through the expiration, and I'm not no super expert with long-term leaps and stuff, but I think most people hold about half the time, maybe a little past half, and then theta starts kicking in worse on your contracts. So yeah, you're right, Zen. I think they have to disclose that, right? Oh crap, guys! Sorry, I left that comment up there. So, yep, there's your levels on Palantir for me. You get back in this upper range, she's gonna keep climbing. On the weekly, let's look at the weekly RSI now. I would hope for this thing to either bounce off of 60 or 50 on your RSI. You don't want, Michelle, don't let this thing, the weekly's looking, you got a bearish crossover down. So don't lose 60 on the RSI, or it comes back to 50, which it has plenty of times. See this? So Palantir likes to test 50 on the weekly time frame. Otherwise, that's in the recent past year and a half to 2 years. You don't want to come down here and lose 50. It would be better if it just bounced off the 60 area on your RSI for another move back up. So keep that on your radar. Don't forget to take profits. Yvette, yeah, I guess so. She just needs to pay attention to the share price. Don't let it get below that. Let's go. Let's hit SPY for a second. And I told somebody Apple. Here's the weekly, y'all. It continues and continues and continues. Right? Let's go. Daily's crossing right back up now on the RSI. Obviously, we have problems up here. Previous highs, 646, 646.50. That's going to be your area. And just like last week, I was preaching 642. 642 is the number to hold. You don't want to lose it. Look, all these taps and bottoms down here. This is a shelf. This is a volume shelf. When we lost 642, I told everybody last week. Right there. That was the number. Look what we got. That played out nice. We're not so far away from 642 that we can't back test it. We can definitely back test it. After that move on Friday, I'm looking for consolidation above 642. And if I was going to buy like some swing calls for a few weeks out, I would want to buy between 644 and 642. If I was going to buy like 5 contracts, I'd buy 1 or 2 at the 643 range, 1 or 2 around the 642 range for a hop back towards 646 and above. We gotta get above 646.50 to take off again. That's we're at all-time highs. So SPY, there's Monday. Here's the past 2 weeks. You can see this entire range up here, 642, and then a little bit of help around 641.50. Mostly 642 is that's your number. And then I would say we can back test that 644.20. Right there. There we go. And that was last week's high. Red. We're going to make this a dashed line. There we go. Right up here, 646.50. There we go. That's what I'm watching. All right. Vamp Saval, thank you. Monsieur Man, too early to call that, my friend. Much too early to be calling that. I'm not playing puts on it right out of the gate until I see what pre-market's going to do. I'll get Amazon and UNH, Kevin. Yep. You got to see pre-market first, brother, and get those levels, and then we can make up our mind. But you see these 2 big volume shelves here that I measure. This is good support. This is good support here. So the top of this bar is what I want, 644.20. That would be back test where I would consider buying calls for a bounce, because that was the bottom of this shelf and it tapped it 2 times, right? 2 times right there. And it held. So I would definitely be watching that level. And then 642. I don't think they'll give 642 back up after this big pump. I just don't. I'll be more so watching for consolidation here, maybe for a day, or a pullback to this and see if it holds. By this time in the morning, the 200 EMA will be up a little more. It could come back and test it. Yep. Yeah, I've got the 24-hour session on my Weeble chart over here. So right now it's making its way towards 644 really slowly. Yep. Which is what we've got marked, 644.20. Makes sense. Yep. Okay, let's do UNH and or no, somebody said Apple first. I'll do Apple, then UNH, then Amazon, then I'm done. Okay. 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 Man, I notice I don't like day trading Apple a whole lot. Seems like the moves are really choppy to me. I don't know what it is. I never do well just day trading it. Not a lot anyways, I'll say. Let's get rid of this. Let's go to a daily. Reset. Okay. There we go. Here's your big levels on Apple. Looks like it's ready to run back towards 235 to me. Apple on the daily still holding the 200 EMA. It's above it. $235.50 ultimate resistance. If it gets above that, we got to run back to 244, 243 on Apple. Right in that neighborhood. Maybe 248. I'll split the difference, say 243. So we'll see. It needs to hold 225 pretty much, 224.80, maybe even that. 227 maybe. Yeah, 227. Look where it back tested on Friday. Right back down to 227 area right here. 226.90. There's support right now. Got to hold 226.90. That'd be immediate support. Then 226. 224. Not crazy about the. Oh yeah, here we go. Never mind. Yeah, it's popping right back above 60. I think it's got a little more in it, a little more gas in it. that MACD line's gonna hit and bounce, I bet. Let's see if this gets back above 60 and keeps pressing, and then you can get a run back towards 235 over the next few days. That's kind of my outlook on Apple. It needs to hold 227 and then 224.40. Okay. Lipum on Monsimian. You're most welcome, my friend. I hope I hope I can help you get set up on Weeble, my brother, for your scalping and your day trading. And Lipum's question is, if I had bought, let's say I had bought 230 calls, and I had bought 5 contracts, and I hit the buy button, I'm in the position. When I get ready to sell, the position's already selected. The only difference is I go down here and click 1, and then I'll just start hitting sell, 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 because it's displaying what I'm up or down percentage and dollar amount right here. So whenever I start wanting to get out, if I've bought 10, the same contract is already selected. I don't have to select anything. I just need to click a 2 or 1 or whatever I want to sell at each time. Sell, 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 sell. And then I'm out. So if that helps you out, Lipum, hopefully that answers your question. And as far as the positions tab, if that's what you're talking about, Lipum, no, I only choose the positions tab if I want to start fooling with a stop loss. Good night, Saul Alamonte. Thanks for being here, brother. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome, Lipum. That's right, Yancey. I agree. Thank you, Zen Trader. I'll check it out on Coreweave. Yep. So there's Apple. Let's hit UNH. UNH, man, just if we had been prepped. Man, why is it doing, I don't want to see that on my, take that off. There we go. Okay. You can already see my line down there on the RSI. A big time frame usually gives a cleaner break through this signal line. The RSI oversold on a weekly time frame on a big old stock like this. When you got the cross up, it was screaming by me, just like I told everybody last week. There's my line, and now I'm going to take it off. You can see the MACD has now crossed. See, the RSI went first on this candle. Next candle, this is the weekly. The MACD confirmed the move. Now we need continuation. 326.50, I would dare say, just for kicks and giggles, it needs to get above 327 and close. Then you can take off. So, 4 hours reclaim the 200. Where's the daily at on the 200? this will eventually come interact with the 200 EMA on the daily time frame. The daily time frame 200 EMA is way up here. It will interact with it at some point. So you can see how it, on a good uptrend, it respected it the whole way on the daily. Then you got in chop here, above it, under it, above it, under it, and then you took back off there. So if you believe in this, you're under the 200 EMA. This is dollar cost average time, in my opinion. It looks bullish in a lot of ways. On the daily, it can start coming up here, ripping to 70 some, back testing 60 and 50, ripping, while it's moving up on the weekly. Weekly RSI is just now crossed back into 40, in the 40 neighborhood. Blow it up here. See? Just now crossed back above it. So, long way to go to 50 and 60 on it. That's all I'm saying. Looks pretty good to me. You want to hold these lows now. Right here. $295. $295 is a point UNH needs to hold. It needs to hold that. Okay. All right. And then somebody said Amazon. I'm gonna hit Coreweave before we goes in. Let's see. I called Coreweave not long ago. I didn't follow through with it, but I did call it good. Man, Amazon's POC held on this whole run up 220. It's previous highs, man. You're just going to struggle back up through here. Got to get above 236. Got to get above 236. So Lipum, often I want to go back. It depends on the chart. So like Amazon right here, I don't really want to see this area anymore, because we've broke all the way back up through it with new price action. So that's my thinking. When we're in a big old channel like this rising, we've already overcame all this. So I want to see current day till back to the last pivot low back here is what I'm looking at, if that makes sense. And it's printed a nice volume up here at 221. I liked it over 226. Here we are. We've already tested highs once up here. Made perfect sense to just get slapped once up there. 240, 243, 242.50. So now 234 is going to be ultimate resistance for Amazon. And then just got the cross back above on the RSI. So it's looking bullish. I would pay attention to it as the RSI approaches 60. Probably puts you back up there towards 233.50, 233.40, those previous highs. 6 points away, and we'll see what happens there. I kind of like it. All right, let's go Coreweave, and then I'm done. I love you all, man. Hope everybody's enjoyed it. Good job, Kevin. Yep, holler at me, Yancey. All right, Coreweave. Man, it's wanting to come back. Zen, if it can get back above this 110, let's see here. 105.50. $89.75 or nine, right there at $90 support. $89.50, $90 support. Got a little more here at 85. 85, 89. I think this is trying to take another run back up down on your RS. I think it wants to fire back through 40 and cross that signal line. That could be bullish, man. Yeah. And then ultimately 118, 120 area. Got to get above that. Above 120, she flies back to 148. Kind of what I think. GRT 805, thank you, my friend. Yvette, I can do RKLB. Somebody told me the other day it was on a rocket. Edward, I trade on it every day. I live trade on it every day and show everybody. But as far as a setup video, how to use it, I usually do that on coaching calls. One reason, everybody's got a different computer and different screen setup and different. And then most people can't find the subscriptions on it, and it's a one size fit all video, just goes on with another bunch of questions. So I usually do the setups on coaching calls, but I trade on it every day, live in front of everybody. So you watch me click the chart, click the buy, click the strike, click the sell, click every day. Here's RKLB. $38.50 support. $38.50, $35.50. It's not perfect, but sort of got that look going. It's got, that makes sense. Got to get back above 46. Then 48.30. 46 and 48.30. It was a nice hop of that off of that support down here. It's leaning a little bullish. There was your cross up. I mean, the perfect buy on this was the bounce off of 40. When you got down here next to 40 on your RSI, that bounce, now it crossed the signal line. You want to run back to 60 and then above for the blow off. So 46, then 49 be your two resistances. And now you want it to hold, you probably want it to hold this 43 area right there. Okay. Okay, Yvette. Good. Trucking with Josh, man. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. If you got questions, I do appreciate everybody and love you guys and gals. If you got questions, you can tag me on the Discord. If anybody, if Trucking with Josh, if you're new to the Discord, I like that Zen. New Orleans, I think I still got Apple. Yeah, I got Apple for you. That's right. Okay. So, here you go. Now, if you go on the Discord, if you're brand new, maybe here, over here is just all the channels. Okay. You get in here, you got different chat groups, trading floor options, crypto, VIP chat. You got all these different chats that you can join. For Josh's daily setups, they're right here under GOAT signals, scalp setups, every day of the week. That's where he puts those. That's usually like two or three or four trades right there that he's looking at. Leaps, crypto gems, and then here's Josh's live trade tab. Okay. Now you come down to Crown Traders. There's where yours truly is. Look at that handsome fella. Wow. Oh, man. I had to say it. So, you come on down there to Crown Traders and you get, there's me, Tribal, Wolf, Stock Brother, all them. Blessed for success, man. Thank you for the super chat. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can answer that for you. So this is where anything I post, if you click on my channel, when I go live Monday, Tuesday, Thursday at opening bell. I live day trade with everybody for hour and a half, sometimes longer. And then if you come on down, you get all this other stuff. So spend some time in here. Lots of information. I try to do as many live streams as I can. Everybody here will tell you. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. You can DM me. I will not DM you first. Ever. I will never ask you for any money or copy trading or nothing like that. I do have coaching services on the side, but that's a whole different thing. Don't get spammed. Josh will never message you either. Okay? If you need my email, it's in the description of this video. You can email me. If you had $25K in a trading account and able to add $500 every week, what would you do to get to $100K quickly? Alfonso, what's up? Man, that's a whole ball of worms right there. What would I do to get to 100K quickly? Well, I'll start off by saying this, and I'll send you your super chat back right now. I don't want to say this in a negative way because everybody likes to make money fast. But getting the mentality of making that happen quickly that's probably the first thing that needs to go out of your head. The second thing I would do would be to not use that whole amount to day trade with. You should be looking at swing trading some and some long-term investing. Day trading should be the smallest piece of your portfolio. But if you learn disciplines and learn charting, I would tell you that learning how to chart and how to trade our day trading structures can help add great value to your long-term investing. Making your day trading options account blow up big really fast is probably not going to happen. I feel you. There goes the third thumbs down. Oh, they took it back. Okay. Yeah, it's so what it is, blessed for success, is it's a mental and emotional thing, and if you don't know charting, then I would tell you the fastest way to add to your value is to learn charting and to respect when a chart tells you something. So I'll do Tesla here. This is how I was looking at Tesla last week, and I'm looking at it the same way, is that RSI is unable to break 60 or 40. That has kept us in tight consolidation starting here, if you'll see. kind of got this move going on, and I'm looking for a break up out of it. This I guess this is a pennant. RSI will tell this story first. If you see the MACD, look at this, how it is intertwined on Tesla. Granted, you can day trade this and still make money. It's unable to pull away from the signal line or the zero line. It is in tight price compression, and when it breaks, it breaks. You know, that's all I can say is that it did just cross up through the signal line, pointing towards 60. If this thing goes over 60, then we will look for a break of 247.30 first, or 248. Over 248, we'll go back to recent highs. This is how I do it. 357. I just want to be simple, right? High. 366. There you go. At the same time, it needs to break this trend line. This trend line is a resistance line right now, you know. So when we get to this trend line, if it begins to break out, we need to cross 348 something, 348.40. That's how I view Tesla right now. The story will be told on this RSI right here, if you'll watch it, okay? Whoever was asking for that. So going back to Blessed for Success there, you know, you probably got some crazy hours, my friend, and I don't know how much you can day trade. Maybe you're day trading from the road, like if you got time at opening bell, you're on your laptop and stuff. I will tell you to follow those general setups that I gave you in the mornings of pre-market high, opening range high, and previous day high and low. Those are the three things that are going to come into play each day when you're scalping and day trading. And the more you learn to respect those lines, the better you will do, my friend. Yep. So being on the road like that, also you need to take special, you know, and if I lose you as a follower and viewer, that so be it. That's cool. I just want the best for you. You may want to spend more time like with Miss Mary and Profits with Parker over on the Discord, because they do a lot of swing trading, and these are things where you can, and Parker's very good, you know. These are things you can do and not have to be glued to your screen for the whole move or whatever. So you can swing trade and be driving down the road, and you know, when you get a break, you get to look, you know, check your prices and stuff, and you're not in a panic. If you're able to add $500 a week into your long-term account, I would tell you to buy, buy growth stock, buy blue chip stocks, dollar cost average into blue chip stocks, and you're never going to go wrong if you're catching them in the right. You don't want to be buying the top, I'll say, but you add great value at $500 a week, my friend. Thanks, Zen. Thank you, Zen Trader. Yeah, Blessed for Success. Like, are you just starting, or are you pretty new? Teladoc. Is this it? Teladoc? Do you like Teladoc? Looks like it's going to move across the EMAs. Is that the ticker for it? 4LL? Am I looking at the right thing? Yeah. Blessed for Success. You're brand new. Wipe that. Get that out of your mind, my friend. Getting to 100K within a year. T-Doc. Okay, my bad. I was like, I don't think I'm looking at this right. There we go. Get that frame of mind. That's the quickest way to get yourself to 100K. Get that frame of mind gone. I'm not going to, I ain't going to lie to you, my friend. You're going to look back with that 25K account. It's going to be 2K with that kind of thinking. So you got to slow it down and learn to chart. And you need to spend 6 months to a year learning is what you need to do. Okay, my friend. And once you got 6 months under your belt, you might look back at this and say, I didn't know anything. Because you got, it's just a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn. I'm still learning, and I've got a lot of years at this now, but I'm still learning. Okay. I got to go, my friends. I love you, and Blessed for Success. If I didn't help you, you can DM me in the Discord, and I will send you your $50 super chat back, okay? If I wasn't of any benefit to you tonight, my friend. Yep. No problem. T-Doc, last one, and I'm out. I like it. These were lows down here at this 675. You can see on the daily, this is moving up on RSI, and the next confirmation, when this blue line gets to the 0 line, if it fires through there, you get a run probably back to highs up here towards $9, and then $10 with a gap filled to $11 up there. It's not bad. Not a bad move. Not a bad move. And what are you saying? 750 to 10 would be 25% move. So not a bad move there. You probably got some resistance here at 770. See all these tops back there? So there's your channel. Next channel up. Levels up $9. Okay. All right. Love you all. Appreciate you. If you'd like to support, hit the description of the video, and you can, if you really want to support me, you can subscribe with my link. You can just unsub and then resub with my link. That helps me tremendously. And anything, tip jars are in there. Don't feel obligated. Weeble link is in there, and Blowfin's in there, and my email's in there. If you want to set up a one-to-one coaching, be happy to help you. I'll be making my next small group class coming up in the next few weeks. I will announce that. All right. I love you all. Peace. See you in the morning. All right.